What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with, once again, another overview of my account and roster and where I am right now. As you can see with the achievements, we are gearing up here, ready in 2 days for the 750. So, I mean, this is always a good time to actually just take a look and show you guys what I have right now. And just a reminder, I am, again, 100% free to play. So if you guys ever need a reference, if you're watching this video as a reference in terms of seeing where you're going to be in a year or two, given the right resource allocation, if you're in a good alliance, this is going to be a good representation. Keep in mind though, I am a very active player within my alliance, so that's obviously translated to the performance of my account. But for obvious reasons, I love this game, but I just can't justify spending money just because for me, I'm actually a very frugal person in real life. So I love having fun, and the rewards actually are more meaningful when we're attacking it from a free-to-play perspective. But all the power to those who do want to spend money. Obviously, I'm not here to tell you guys what you should or shouldn't do, but it's always a personal decision. But keep in mind, you guys, 2 years into the game now, $0 put into this game, and where am I right now in terms of overall collection power? About 10 million. I've completed all of Dark Dimension 4, all of Dark Dimension 3. I've really followed up my model of building tall and not building wide for my rosters, just because I found that over time, especially in the beginning, I found that I wasn't building my characters efficiently. But fortunately, there's a lot of good content creators out there. There's a lot of content on YouTube and Reddit that's really kind of fueled into my research whenever I do go ahead and build teams beforehand. So I mean, shout out to everyone there that's made a huge impact. But yeah, in today's video, I want to showcase you guys pretty much everything in my account, going from arena to the roster, teams, my strongest teams, teams I recommend in building, especially if you're watching this, and teams I do believe that will have value in the short to medium term as well, because given how fast this game changes, you really do have to adjust on the fly. So I'm going to start things off here with the most simplest game mode here, being arena. Infinity Watch, I actually have not invested in them in the last 3-4 months. I've stopped at a point where I've determined that they can get me, they can allow me to stay in the top 100 for being able to maximize the reward payout. But it's that factor of knowing that the meta is coming. It always changes generally in the first quarter or second quarter of each year. So that's why I kind of stopped a few months ago. But here, I'll show you guys the rewards here. I was consistently in the 21 to 50 zone for a little bit, but as everyone unlocked the Infinity Watch, and especially with the Eternals coming out, they've really been, absolutely formidable in the arena, and they shake things up. But for me, I can't justify in spending and investing in gear for these guys when I know that for a fact that the Infinity Watch time is coming, and there's going to be another team that's going to be meta breaking. So keep that in mind going forward. But as I said, I haven't invested in my Infinity Watch for a good 3 to 4 months now, and pretty happy with that. They've been able to generate me a lot of power cores, and those power cores have served me immensely well in those free-to-play campaign events currently ongoing right now, which is the Rock and Roll for Spider-Punk. So yeah, it's been really good. Diving into the roster review, you guys, I want to showcase you really where all my strongest characters are right now, because I think you're going to see where it starts dipping. And again, I want to reiterate that you should be building tall, not wide, because essentially in this game, some characters are just going to be able to provide more value and be able to unlock more aspects of the game if you know who to unlock. So as you can see, I always actually do add the heart to the characters and teams I'm building right now. So next up is going to be the Web Warriors. They're going to be extremely vital for me for my Doom 2 raids. I'm having a really hard time in Doom 2.3 right now, just going through the final difficulty with my Spider-Verse symbiotes. But Web Warriors have proven to be very valuable, so that's why I'm building them up right now. And that's a slowly work in progress, right? So you can see here, just before I dive into the roster, I got about 42 million in gold, and I also have about, let's see here, I think it was last time I checked, 68 gold orbs. Why haven't I not used any of the gold or opened the orbs? Well, I do have another model in this game as well, which is the resource allocation, saving resources. The max I ever actually blow for my high roller milestones is 2.3. That's why you always see here, this is where I kind of use it as a limiter in terms of saving resources. But because of that, 2 years in the game, I can honestly say I've never really had a shortage of gold in the game. So that's why the Web Warriors aren't built yet. I can do it, but for me, it's about the value, and I don't need them immediately right now, because at least fortunately for me, the symbiote characters are right now providing value. but I can see them tailing off in terms of their success rate. So that's why I'm building for the long term and medium term, and especially when we know that raids are going to be changing in the future, and that's where the Web Warriors will come in. And then starting things off here, there's going to be some top 5, top 10 characters in the game that I would recommend in building. Kestrel and Dr. Doom are obvious ones. Easily right now, they're going to have value in the long term. Just simply 2 of the best characters in the game. Absolutely build them if you can. Gamora's definitely fallen off with Infinity Watch. But something else that's kind of keeping in mind here is the Secret Avengers. Captain Sam and 2 of his Secret Avengers are definitely the best skill team right now for the Doom 2 raids. They got value in Dark Dimension 3 and 4. And we haven't even seen the other 2 characters if Scopely decides to add 2 more to complete their team. So keep that in mind going forward. There's still a lot of potential for them. Deathpool's a really great dark horse as well. She was fortunately available as a free-to-play event. And again, with her energy generation, she's just vital for Doom 2 raids. And again, it's thinking about that medium to long-term usage. Her team with as the new Warriors combined with the Cloak and Dagger are going to have long-term dividends. So I would strongly recommend building them. I don't know if I would recommend symbiotes anymore, but I mean, they're a really good transitional character and team pushing through those initial Dark Dimension nodes, especially when you know, Symbiote Spider-Man is actually meant for Dark Dimension too. So I mean, there's definitely still going to be value, but I think what players will start doing is maybe a variant of the Web Warriors combined with symbiotes, and then that way they won't completely lose all their alien spores into investing in the symbiotes. Another dark horse is definitely Shang-Chi. He's really proven to be an absolutely vital character for me in the Doom 2 raids. But as well, for him, he can actually solo a lot of the nodes I'm using in Gamma right now. And if Gamma is going to change and the difficulty is going to be added, Shang-Chi will have value there. So definitely would recommend it. The rest of his Herald for Hire's team for myself, definitely not built up the way it should be, but you know, he's a leader for the Heralds for Hire in the war defense. So I mean, you're gonna get value in multiple aspects by building him. Black Order's fallen off quite a bit, and that's why you still see remnants of MB Maw and Proxima Midnight here. And the main reason is because I actually used both of them in Dark Dimension 4. So because of that investment previously, that's why they are built, but I haven't touched them since. I've stopped at level 80 for aspects of Doom 2, but obviously now there's better characters to use. And then the other notable one here is actually the Astonishing X-Men. You know, Jubilee combined with Beast, you know, as well as Bishop, Iceman, and Kitty Pryde. Their complete team and mixture right now is the only feasible mutant team right now for Doom 2 raids. She's also used in Dark Dimension 4 when I used her, so she was extremely useful there. And don't forget, she is also on unlock for a legendary. So Jubilee, hands down, a top 3 legendary in the game with her kit, but as well, she's very useful in war. And who you do see high up here, actually, that's different from my previous review videos, is Shuri. And with Shuri, it's because of the Doom 2 raids that really revitalized her. You know, her stats, unfortunately, are still very lacking, and she needs a rework. But fortunately, it's her kit that makes her very useful for the medium to long term. And because of that, I foresee right now, especially where the tech nodes right now are in Doom 2.3, we're going to still need a complete team. And Shuri right now can provide value with that defense up and healing. And don't forget, she was originally meant for raid, so she does actually, you know, provide deflex when the health falls below that 50% threshold. So there you go. She does actually have value there. And definitely more of one of the reachable legendaries in the game, with her being permanent and only needing, you know, 5 of the Spider-Verse characters, which is very, very accessible. I haven't invested in Phoenix actually in quite a while, but she's built up for Dark Dimension 4. But otherwise, I don't actually use her in Doom 2 raids. Maybe there's going to be a rework potentially with her. I know she can use a stat boost increase, but that's why she's as powerful as she is. Dr. Octopus, you know, the rest of his team on my side is not built up, but you know, he is actually used heavily for my Doom 2 raids. I feel like he's just a plug right now just because he is tanky and he can summon just to prevent some damage. But overall, he's a great character. I like his kit. Definitely a top 5 legendary in the game. But for Doom 2 raids right now, not gonna lie, he's actually pretty underwhelming. So, you know, I would hold back on investing in him if you don't need to for the time being. But for me, he was used in Dark Dimension 4. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to use him in Dark Dimension 5. But we'll see once we get there, especially given how long it's taken up to rack up the materials. And then another top 5, obviously, in the game would be Silver Surfer. I think he's very similar to Kestrel in the sense that he can solo his own team. He's got some great abilities with the ability block, heal block, and one of the fastest characters in the game as well. But just some great overall statistical bonuses now. And there's a Blitz going on for him right now, but definitely take advantage if you guys can. Definitely a top, if not a top 5, a top 10 in the game. Very useful, especially in the Doom 2 raids and Dark Dimension 4. And now we get to some of the more the teams that aren't incomplete, right? So, Cloak and Dagger I already mentioned earlier with these two combining with Deathpool. Definitely build them up if you can, because like I said, raids are becoming the new future of the game. And if you have value in raids, they're going to unlock other aspects of the game later on, especially with Dark Dimension 4 and going forward. Cersei and Icarus, two characters that are just absolutely juggernauts right now, and there's only two of them right now, so who knows if there's going to be more Eternals joining the battle here in the Void. But I mean, with these two right now, they're getting the job done. They've really changed up the entire arena meta, and that's exactly why my Infinity Watch team is no longer a top 50. It's because of these two combining on defense, and they've just been absolutely blowing teams out of the water. And then you start getting some of the stragglers on my team that were remnants from the previous metas. So I mean, Emma Frost, Mr. Sinister, they're really built up because I used them previously in Dark Dimension 3 and 4. Thanos, Black Order, Black Widow, similar both, used in Dark Dimension 4. Minerva, I actually do use her for Doom 2, so that's kind of nice. I did boost her up, and fortunately with her, it's her mechanics, right? Her having a revive in the game and having a heal that can actually bypass heal block. Ghost is always really good overall as well. She can steal away the turn meter, and she's got some great survivability when she has her dodges up. I think she's really going to be a great Dark Dimension 5 character, but honestly, with so many characters coming out now, we're not going to even be sure by then if there's going to be a new meta or character that just absolutely is broken. And then this is what I'm talking about. After those characters that I just showed you, the reason I go through all of them is because they're really the ones I want to talk about, because after that, it really does fall off in my roster. You can see here after Nick Fury, who I previously used originally in Doom 1, the Doom 1 raids on hardest difficulty. All these characters after just fall off. 71, 75. I'm actually trying to build Omega Red. He's the exception. With the recent events in Pocket Dimensions, that forced me at my hand to actually invest in him, and I'm very happy with that. I'm gonna build him up along with the Web Warriors right now, but otherwise, all these other characters, to be quite frank, the reason they're not built is because they just don't provide a lot of value outside of the aspects that I need them, and that's mainly the reason I've been able to build as efficiently as I've been able to. So I mean, I'm just slowly scrolling down for you guys so you can see, but there's a lot of characters that actually do relate to War, and for my needs right now, War, our alliance is somewhat casual about it, so it's not important to me. But I know that sometimes, so there are some days that we definitely make it tight, and it is fun for sure. But downside is that with War, it's not a heavy aspect of the game, and it doesn't really provide a lot of dividends when you think about Arena giving you power cores, when you think about raids being able to reward you teal. If they're going to need to revitalize War, I think that's when it's going to be more meaningful. But the majority of the teams that do come out as filler and plugs do tend to be War. So that's the main reason I don't actually invest in too many War teams, such as, for instance, the X-Force team, Omega Red's Weapon X team right now. So, I mean, that's the main reason. But I want to show you guys here quickly my Blitz teams here, because I did take a chance to showcase all my highest teams here. So that way you can kind of see it and summarize. But yeah, Infinity Watch, Symbiotes, my Secret Avengers here mixed in with Kestrel and Nick Fury. I got my Astonishing X-Men, who's feasible right now for Doom 2. We got the mixture combination of Cersei and Icarus combined with the New Warriors, and this is a very powerful team right now for Doom 2.3. I'm actually still being able to actually one-shot or two-shot the majority of the nodes, so that's really good. And you can already see kind of where it tails off, right? Black Order, only 500k, because fortunately when I got up to that point, I realized that there's absolutely no point in building them up, especially with, Call Obsidian and Corvus Glaive not being that powerful when you compare it to Thanos, and as well as Ebony Maw being the two most important. And then I put the random stragglers on my other teams where they're not, the rest of their counterparts are not strong, but individually they're very powerful. So you have these mixtures here, and that way you can see their individual power. These are the characters I would recommend in building up, because at some point they provided value for me in Dark Dimension 3, Dark Dimension 4, and the Doom raids 1 and 2. So these are characters that you should be considering on building, but as well as making sure you research and see if they have value anymore. So I'll give you an example. Hela is really powerful on my team right now, but would I recommend building her at this point? Honestly, she's quite costly for Dark Dimension, and no one actually uses her for Doom 2. So, she definitely takes a hit there. She's used for the unlock of Black Bolt, but, to be quite frank, I'm not even sure if Black Bolt's used quite frequently in the game anymore. They may be very useful in War, but otherwise, not a character I would recommend. So just to give you guys some insight, because I know, others have always asked about my War defense, War offense teams. Well, those are the strongest characters that I just showed you on my roster and team. So that can give you some input in terms of the strategy that I use. But I use those characters really built around a team, and ideally I always try to counter, and that really works for me at for the most part. So last but not least, you guys, you know, with the Doom 2 raids, as I noted earlier, it's really important now to really segregate and make sure that you know that which specific team is required for each section of Doom 2. So that's exactly what I've kind of built upon to be able to, you know, push through these nodes. So I'll give you an example. Symbiotes and Web Warriors are going to dominate and take over Bio nodes now. You got the Secret Avengers mixed with Kestro and Shang-Chi for the skill. Then for tech, you know, this is the one that's kind of up in the air. I'm not really sure about tech right now, but we do have some strong combinations of Doom, Kestro, Shuri with the defense, and right now I'm using Minerva and Dr. Octopus, but like I said, they're not the go-to because they're not guaranteed. Mystic is definitely one of the easiest ones now, especially with the mixture of, you know, the Eternals of Icarus and Cersei combined with New Warriors and being Deathpool, as well as Cloak and Dagger. And lastly, the Astonishing X-Men are the ones that can absolutely plow through the mutant nodes if they're built correctly and if you know how to time their turn meter. So there you guys have it. Pretty much an overview of my account. I was able to also defeat Pocket Dimension in a pretty timely manner, but you know, I know they were really aiming to push players to building a wider roster, so that's something we may have to be mindful of and keep in mind. Because of how this was built, maybe they're gonna build Pocket Dimensions to mirror Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3, similar to how this original one actually mirrored Dark Dimension 1. So hope this video was able to help you guys. Went through the arena, my overall roster, some of my strongest characters and teams, the characters I'd recommend, and as well as the progression towards raids. So thank you guys. I do appreciate you checking my videos always. I hope this video was able to give you some insight as a free-to-play player. But as well, even for those of you that are paying the game, I hope this is able to kind of, you know, realign where your guys' investments are. Because like I said, you may not be focused as much in the resource investment and allocation, but it's extremely important in this game, especially now given constantly characters being added to the game. So thank you as always. Do appreciate you guys checking out. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.